What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Bitten Apple TV's Apple Buys. Hey, thank you for hanging with us. Yes, we are a little late. I was having
We're
some
having
computer problems.
technical difficulties.
This is what happens when you go live. What can you say? I had like some major stuff happening. So apparently, with my upgrade to the new Windows, Windows upgrades every night, it's been causing my hard drive to crash. So I've had to put it through like a series of paces in order for it to actually come up right. And I was freaking out today because I was promoting my other show, trying to get everything ready for that, which I have on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, trying to get ready for this one, working at the same time. I was stressed. So, but if for some reason I end up, jumping out of the broadcast tonight, I'm sure that Ralph can handle it, and I'll have to jump back in, if something happens, if my computer crashes. But we have a lot to get to tonight. Today, we have like some really, really great guests this evening who have some Kickstarters that are out there right now that are doing really well. But we do need them to give them a little bit of boost in order for them to get to their goal. But we're going to just bring them in shortly. We're going to talk about a couple of things. So, you went to WinterCon.
Yes, we went to WinterCon.
I'm
It
so
was a
excited.
blast. We had a lot of fun. Got together with Charlie and uh
Kate.
Fox, of course.
Yes. I'm so excited. So I was supposed to go, but of course I have like 5 million things to do. And of course I didn't get anything done over the weekend. I still have my goals. But before we do talk about WinterCon, this is still Women's History Month. So we want you to celebrate your women out there, the women that you know, your moms, your aunties, anybody who identifies as a woman. This is their month. Give them their props, give them their flowers. This is their month. There are women out there doing the hard thing every day that only women can do, and some things that women can't do. So happy Women's History Month, everybody. So tell us, WinterCon.
March 12th to the 13th. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
WinterCon. It was a blast. I even made of course, my usual little trailer, which I have shared over here on the side.
Let's look at your trailer.
Let's put that up and then we can discuss things.
All right, bring it up full if you can.
All right, hold on. Hey.
Go through the
Stop
beginning.
starting before I put you on. Okay, there we go. Yeah,
Nice. I saw a couple people that I haven't seen in a while. Frank
exactly.
DiStefano, Mr. Poppin' Fresh. I mean, everybody's coming back out. They're coming out there to, you know, they got the con fever. So how was it? Was it crowded?
It was great, man. It was like medium crowd. I guess people well, first of all, Saturday was horrible. It was
And
a storm and a half,
yeah.
and the people still showed up. People still wanted to be. I think people want this everything to go back to normal. They
Right.
want to go hit the cons, and that's what this felt like. WinterCon felt like, all right, let's go have some fun. Let's go enjoy ourselves. I know Roaming Tony, like, he if you saw his review of the whole thing, he bought like a ton at the convention.
Yeah, I saw that he said that he bought a lot of things. So I'm so excited. It was his first convention, he said, his first WinterCon.
His first WinterCon, yeah,
Yeah,
and he
so
really liked it. He enjoyed it, and that's the whole thing. WinterCon is this unique thing. It's so weird not to see Mark Torres there because I've always seen WinterCon as this Mark Torres type of
yeah.
convention. But Mark's been doing his Charlie thing, from Charlie's Angels. He just sends the angels out, and we do the job for him.
Yeah, with the pose and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Oh, well, I'm so glad you had a good time. I can't wait to see the other videos and some of the interviews. Maybe we could showcase them from WinterCon. And I think Monster Mania is coming up too, or did it pass?
I think it might have passed because I could swear somebody was talking about being at Monster Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, eventually I will get out there. The weather is a little bit too crazy for me. And
And
I'm
Saturday
still
was
kind of like,
horrible.
very iffy about the whole
Yeah.
mask mandate kind of thing. I have to be very careful about that. So I just like, I went somewhere the other day and I had my mask on. Everybody had their mask off, and of course there was only a few of us that had our mask on.
Yeah, because everybody, as soon as they told them they didn't have to wear their mask.
Yeah, they took it off. Even in my doctor's office, I'm like, I'm just not ready there. I'm not ready yet. Listen, we've had a lot of little false negatives before too.
Yeah.
Everybody take your mask off. Everybody be happy, and then everybody's sick, and then we got another, a variant. So no, thank you. Anyway, so I don't know if you have been watching this, and I'm trying to get you to watch it, but I know everybody has watched it
because both Shadow and Tony, and Tony's a Marvel boy, and he's like singing high accolades of Peacemaker.
So I just started watching it, and can I say, who knew John Cena could act? Oh my gosh, he can act. I really believe this character. Even if it's in a comic world, if it's DC comic world, I believe this character. He is so tragic and so sad, but hilarious at the same time. And he's portraying that. He is definitely relaying that persona to the audience. But this is such a good show. It took a lot for me to convince my husband to watch it. And finally I said, listen, everybody's talking that this is really good. And he goes, yeah, some of the guys at work are telling me that it's good. So we watched it.
Just the opening alone,
Yeah. Yeah, they have like a little dance that they do at the opening. It's the strangest dance I've ever seen. It's like some kind of Twyla Tharp type of thing. I don't know what it is, but it's interesting. I don't know who came up with that concept. I kind of like that. But it is really good. I've only watched maybe 3 episodes, but the first episode hit off the gate. I will give a disclaimer here. There is a scene where he actually takes a woman home, and this woman is some kind of a meta-human, and that fight scene alone is worth the price of y'all watching this show. It was something. I mean, I was like, what? I'm loving it because it's so physical. And because we know he can handle that as a wrestler, that it's, the physicality of it. It doesn't look fake. It's very real. I'm loving the show. So highly recommend. I'll probably give a review after we've watched all the episodes, and I can come back and let everybody know. And the other thing that just came out is Picard. Picard is back. And it is so glorifically written. It is so good. It is classic Star Trek, classic intrigue, classic it's just there. I'm so happy it has given me my complete full fill of everything when it comes to Star Trek. It's like that. The only thing that I'm so sad about is that Sir Patrick Stewart, they had to beg him to come back and do this show. He's getting older, and you definitely could see that in the show, that he's getting older. He's, not moving as rapidly he's did in Next Generation.
Right.
But I am loving this. I'm loving all of the appearances of people from the past.
Yeah, exactly.
And this season, Q comes back, and and Guinan. It is a very interesting storyline. It left on the biggest cliffhanger the other night when we were watching it, and I was like sitting up in my bed, like, oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good. I was on the edge of my seat. It really is really good. Oh gosh.
I've seen all the little bits and pieces and trailers, and I know what happened in the first season. I didn't get a chance to see it. Again, it's on Paramount, and I haven't went in that direction yet. But yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about the show.
So really good. Now, the first season, it had appearances by number 1 and then Marina Sirtis and everybody like that. I literally got teary-eyed when they came back. Yeah, Riker.
Yeah.
Riker, and I just literally like teared up because that's like somebody that I really love. Of course, when we went to the Great Philly Con, I
Yeah.
got to take a picture with him. So of course I was probably, you know, displaying that I got to actually take a picture with him, and it was a great picture too. Oh my
It
gosh,
was.
I
It was a
love
warm
him.
picture too. He took a really warm picture with you.
Yeah, he did. He was just very a genuine man. He actually had a little conversation with me. We talked. I didn't gush too much, not like I did over Nicholas Brandon from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who I really gushed over. But this is it. It's really really good. So I highly recommend that you all start watching it. They kind of they don't have the full season out, so you have to come back like every I think Thursday to watch the
Right.
episodes
I,
in
I,
order
find,
to
I find
enjoy it.
a lot of shows are doing that now, and some people are upset because they like to stream. But I feel like it goes back to that classic,
Cliffhanger.
serial. You have to wait.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you all have to learn how to wait. So you're sitting there with anticipation when it comes
Mhm.
on, and you're ferociously eating it up when it does come on. You look at the
Exactly.
episode. And the other thing that I want to talk about is Discovery. Now, Discovery has, in my opinion, has been kind of so-so. What I do love about it is that, we have a black captain, and I absolutely love her as, as a captain. I just think that I just love her, Sonika Green because of The Walking Dead, but I think the writing has been a little cliched in a sense.
Right.
And so it's kind of hard to get into to really feel or have a feeling of love for Michael Burnham, which is a character that Sonequa Green plays. And so, and I think that's her full name, or does she has a hyphenated name? Um, but anyway, I I love the show because we watch it anyway because we give it a chance. I mean, quite often you don't Sadiqa Martin Green, you don't have a black captain,
Yeah.
but this season right now has had some cliche characters in it, and she's a love interest in it who I didn't feel they wrote him too cliched, or they wrote him as someone who was kind of not smart. And as a black man, I felt like he wouldn't make those decisions.
Right.
But hey, who am I to say? I love the characters though. I do have genuine feelings for a lot of the characters on her, kind of similar to D Space Nine. And I will let you know that they mentioned Captain Cisco in this episode.
They have to, man. He's the man.
Yes. So
Isn't this season a season where there's some surprises happening where we will see people
well,
from the past?
they mentioned Captain Cisco
Mhm.
actually in Picard, because there's something that happens there that you're gonna love. It's just typical Star Trek. But this is actually getting good because Sonequa Martin Green's character in this, she's very genuine. She's a genuine actress. They are meeting a new species that they've never met before, and this species is extremely unique. And it speaks the species speaks through binary code and mathematics.
Mm.
So how they figured it out when they wrote that scene, it was worth me sitting there, because all this season I've been sitting there like, okay, come on now. But this last episode was worth it. It was worth it for everything that we sat through and some of the things that occurred in these episodes. So I highly, recommend, if you are a Star Trek fan, to check it out and give it a chance. I mean, listen, we don't get to get this opportunity every once in a while, and some of these people are not going to be with us any longer. So I feel like this is the time to support anything that comes from that Star Trek universe.
And that's the universe we want to see stuff from, is the one that we've come up with.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
the main universe.
Exactly. So, with that being said, we are going to bring our guests in. But before we bring us in, we've actually spoken to one of our guests before at KimFest. We met him at KimFest in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
was it?
I
So in
think so.
2018, we met him at KimFest. So let's do a little
2018, yeah.
Yeah, 2018. Walk down memory lane. Let me just make sure I have the right one up.
Because we did two interviews with him in 2018. One of them at New York Comic Con and one of them at ChemFest.
Okay, so this one is the one at Kim Fest, I think.
Yeah.
All right, just let me I hope this is the right one. All right, let's go ahead and play this promo. So of course that was the wrong one.
I was like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, that's what happens when your computer is down all day. You don't have time to prep. But anyway, we'll go ahead and show this our last interview with him.
Hey guys, this is Kat Mayer from Bitten Apple TV. Now we're here at Chem Comic Fest. Now we're checking out every booth that's here. We're having a field day. We're here with Ray Comics. Now this is TJ Sterling. First of all, your drawings, everything here caught my attention. I needed to find a little bit more about this. So please do tell my viewers more about your book here.
Absolutely. Okemos is a sci-fi martial art action story about a character of color with an incredible superhuman ability. This particular ability is essential to saving the world. And he's actually being pursued by 4 warriors from the future that want his power. As they get a little bit close to him, he starts to mutate, change, evolve into something unexpected. Don't want to ruin it for you guys, but I'd love for you to check it out. My website is raycomics.com. Some of my social media information right there. It's raecomics.com.
Now, I do want to ask you, like, what was your inspiration for creating? So you already said there's 4 bad guys. I'm assuming that, to me, that comes all across, like, you know, the 4 horsemen. So I want to know a little bit more, like, where'd you really come up with this storyline?
Well, I've been really buying comics, I'd say, probably since, like, the late 80s when I was a little kid. And I've always loved Spider-Man, Spawn, Power Rangers, lots of anime, Dragon Ball Z, Guyver, Berserk. So all of my different influences, the stuff that I loved growing up as a kid, I try to coalesce that into my book really with, you know, a twist that's unique enough that's recognizable, but very, very different. So lots of inspirations, but ultimately a very unique and different product in the market.
So now when it comes to the protagonist, is that you're pulling from yourself or you're describing someone that you know, or is it a combination of both?
I would say any artist pulls from himself. I mean, if you think about any book, even something like Superman, for example, was created by Jewish, characters. And, you know, even Superman, his story, it mirrors a Jewish story. So artists, they make stuff that is similar to what they know. And I would say for this book itself, the main character, really, he has some influence of me in there, but ultimately it's every young man that's kind of trying to find himself and find, I guess, how to deal with his own powers, their own abilities, and their own strengths and weaknesses.
It sounds very much like real life when you're just sort of just breaking out. You're like, what am I supposed to do now? I have all these skills. So when it comes to all the characters that you're dealing with, obviously he's going to have allies, he's going to have enemies. Do you have one that's a particular favorite that's not the protagonist?
I would say Ticina, which is this character right here.
Tell me more about Ticina.
And here's another amazing shot of her right here. Ticina is the only female warrior within this 4 team of guys, and she's super badass. She's a really strong, powerful black woman with lots of intelligence, grace, elegance, and also she's very, very tough. She actually gets her own comic book series at the end of the 6th issue of, well, after this 6th issue arc of Okemos is done, she gets her own series. And I would say she's probably the most compelling out of all of the characters next to the protagonist.
Oh my God, I'm in love with her already. That's it. I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm so excited she's getting her own book too. One, I really do like what you have here. We do need more diversity when it comes to like our comic books. I love my comics. Like we all love Superman and Batman. We do. We love you guys, but we want more. We're a little greedy. So what issues do you have out currently right now, and where can people find those issues?
Absolutely. Currently, the issues that we have out are 0, 1, and 2. Issue 3 is in production right now. It's about halfway done, and it'll be out in July. So July of this year, Okemos issue 3 will be out. You can buy issues 0, 1, and 2, the first 3 in the series, on my website, raecomics.com. That's RAEcomics.com. Again, if you subscribe to our mailing list, I basically update everyone all the time as to what's going on with the book.
Thank you so much. I really do love what you have here. It's amazing. And make sure you guys, because I want to see what Tessina's up to. I need to see that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mike. There we go.
So he's promoting something else now.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to bring him in and with his writing partner. So let's bring in TJ Sterling. What's up, TJ?
TJ!
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And then we have another guest this evening too, who's also doing, we're going to bring him in as well. And we're going to talk about everybody's Kickstarter. So let's just bring in Nathan Johns, known as
Gage the Wolf.
The Wolf. And we'll talk to him afterwards. So yeah, let's bring everybody in. Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
So
Hey,
TJ, give us an update of what's been going on since that interview.
Oh, and a lot's happened since that interview. I mean, that was, I think, 2017, 2018. It was a while ago. So,
April 2018.
And it was not Eternal Con, it was Kimfest, y'all. So.
Yeah. So, you know, man, like, first of all, thanks for having us back on. I love Bitten Apple TV. You guys are fantastic. Shout out to Kadma, who's not here with us today, but hopefully she's here in spirit or somewhere in the comments. Every year I see you guys at New York Comic Con, and typically we have a whole bunch of new books. When I first met you guys, I was promoting my series Okemos, which is a sci-fi martial art action story. That's our flagship series. That book actually was we collected everything into a graphic novel edition last year. So that has issues 0 through 4 in a collected edition. It's 160 pages of amazing art. So if you guys want to check out that story, there is a collected edition online. It is ongoing. So issue 5 actually came out right after the trade paperback did, graphic novel. So plenty of story to go, plenty of ongoing stories to come with Okemos. Last year we dropped Joystick Angels, which is our YA space opera title, which really did well on Kickstarter. I think we raised $25K when it was all said and done. That was last August. And then now we have a brand new series that me and my buddy Newton from Dream Fury Comics have collaborated on. And we're super excited about it. It's our first time writing and creating a story in the cyberpunk genre. So it's super dope, different, and something like no one else has seen in indie comics just yet. So we're super excited to bring it to you guys.
So you're talking about Villainus, and so tell us a little bit about this. You said it's a cyberpunk type of give us some ideas. And I think that you might have something there, Ralph, right? Should I add it to the stream?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Villainus.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk
Newt,
the
did you want to
Wand.
jump in and tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So, Villainous is a sci-fi graphic novel. We're bringing like 80 plus pages to a really great book. So, within the story, we're introduced to this anti-hero, and his name is Shatter. And Shatter is an anti-hero of a different sorts, right? He's a guy who sits in the middle of both polar ends of the sides, right? So he sits in between what people would call the good guys and the bad guys, right? Because typically a hero wants to fix the system, right? They say, "Oh, the system's broken, so we want to fix it." We're heroes. That's what we do. Uh, Shatter, he's different. He's more like the system is broken. We need to destroy everything. So he's like we're gonna destroy everything, and that's what makes him interesting, right? Because now he has an alliance with what's considered the good guys, which is this rebel force called Destruct, right? And because of the way Shadow operates and the goal of Destruct, Destruct is more of a secret organization, and they like to do things on a down low, but Shadow's out there, causing chaos and destruction, and there seems to be no method to his madness. And so there's a lot of friction there. So there's friction with the good guys, and there's friction with the bad guys. So that's the gist of the story. There's a lot more, and we could get into it as we go on.
Oh, I love this. And it's so beautifully drawn. The coloring and everything, the inking is just gorgeous. It draws you into it, this whole new world that you all have created. Fantastic.
Yeah,
let me see if we could pull this up a little bit. Is there any way that you could pull it up a little bit, Ralph, on your end? Some of the graphics. Yeah, awesome. And I saw that there was like a little promo there. Can we play the promo?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Thank you.
One second. Had the mic off for a second. And here we go.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's TJ Sterling. I'm the creator of Joystick Angels and Alchemist.
And my name is Newton Lilavios. I'm the creator and writer of Crescent City Monsters. Today, we're here to introduce to you a fantastic story called Villainus. It's Afro-punk meets cyberpunk.
That's right. It's an absolutely wild, crazy story that follows the adventures of the world's most notorious villain, known as Shatter. If you guys like cyberpunk, Afro-punk, noir crime dramas, gritty, interesting stories about characters that aren't necessarily normally highlighted, you're going to love this comic book series. And also, guys, I want to quickly tell you about our Villainous creative team. The Villainous creative team is packed with some amazing artists that you've seen here in Indie Comics. Solomon Farias, our sequential illustrator from Latin America. We've got Loris Ravina, the infamous colorist from Joystick Angels. We've got Edgy Zion from France. We've got Kanan White doing some amazing covers for us.
And we have Giancarlo Bernal, the amazing Giancarlo Bernal, doing
Crescent
this
City Monsters.
Incredible, beautiful wraparound cover. So that's going to be a special tier on the Kickstarter. Yeah. So make sure if you're a fan of Giancarlo Bernal, make sure you get that.
It's incredible. It's amazing. You guys are going to love it. I guarantee it.
Peace.
That was great, man. I had seen it a while back when you first put up the Kickstarter. I was like, oh, this is fun. Hey, look, they're at a convention.
Yeah, it was. What convention was that, TJ? I don't remember.
I think that was Motor City that we were in
Mostly.
Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been like the response to this Afro punk cyberpunk combination?
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
been great.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's real quick. It's been great. I think once people hear Afropunk and cyberpunk, they're like, "Wow, okay, that sounds like something that's really interesting, something that that we've never seen before." So that always piques their interest.
Yeah, it has a very Neon City look to it. If you all know anything about Neon City, the game, it has that look to it, which is so appealing because it takes you into a whole different world of cybergenetics, and the black side of that, which is something that we don't often see. You know, I love how this looks. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Now you all have 37, is it 37 hours left on your Kickstarter?
Yeah.
And already it seems that it looks like you've gone over your goal, but you're still promoting it, and kind of give us some of the things that people will receive as if they decide to, subscribe to the Kickstarter, support you all.
Yeah, what's great about this Kickstarter is that we're not just offering one comic book. We're actually offering three, in a collected edition. So from the gate, people can get a full story arc, which is something that I think all of us as creators, especially, independent creators, when you do have a book that people like, people ask you all the time, when's the next one coming out? When's the next one coming out? And in this case, like, we're giving you guys a big portion of the story right up front. So volume 1 of Villainus has issue 1, issue 2, or chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. There's over 80 pages of amazing art. And you guys aren't going to be disappointed, honestly. It's just a fun ride. It's a really different story. The tiers start out from $5 and work their way up. You can get a digital copy of issue number 1. You can get a digital collection of the entire graphic novel itself, or if you want printed editions, printed comics, we do have 4 different variant covers that are printed. So you can either do the Kanan White variant cover, the Giancarlo Bernal variant cover, or you can do the Sean Hill Spider-Man homage variant cover, or you can do the Anthony Piper variant cover. I think we do have t-shirts as well as an add-on, and then you do have access to all of our previous comic books. So if you wanted to get any of the Dream Fury comics collection, you can do that through the Kickstarter. Or if you wanted to get all the older Ray Comics books, you could do that as well. So kind of perfect timing to just, get deep into both of our IP, our creative companies, and, see what's going on.
Wow, these are gorgeous. Ralph, can you slow that down just a little bit? Because I kind of want to see everything, what people will receive when they're supporting us. This beautiful. And, now that the series, you created this series, what is your ultimate goal? Would you prefer this to be an animated series, or how far do you all want to go with this?
Yeah,
I would say, go ahead, Newton.
Yeah, I think TJ and I are in the same mindset. So we always focus on the comic book first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that that's always our goal, to produce like the best comic book ever. And if anything else comes out of it, that's fine. But we're always first and foremost always focused on the comic book. So but like I said, with that said, if it becomes a live action and animated movie, that'd be great. That'd be like icing on the cake. But we really want to just share this comic book with you guys, because as comic book fans, you guys are going to enjoy it.
Awesome.
Dude, that's amazing. You can actually get everything you guys have done in these box set thingies over here. It's a steep price, but I feel like if you want to get your whole collection of everything you guys have done, boom, one shot, it's just worth it.
It's beautiful. How much is that donation? How much is that one right there? That's that sponsorship.
This one is the $400 one.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Mm-hmm. You get everything in there. You get all the books. It's just wow. you know, I don't think I've seen many people do this. You know, with their Kickstarters, just give you everything in one place.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So
Very
currently
nice.
that reward is down because there was no one who pledged for it. So what we did is we took it down for now because it would be a little bit. It would just add to the deadline if it was only like one or two people.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
that makes sense.
if anyone goes to the website and they want to pledge, just ping us or email us, and we'll see what we could do with that.
Wow, just oh my goodness, this is really wonderful. Now, this was from the creative mind of you, TJ, and you, or who? How did you all come up with this concept?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think Newton and I, we've done lots of conventions over the years, and we're friends personally. So we've just hung out and talked about comics and stories, and really just the world of like really what the world of comics and what we wanted to see. And you're like, man, like why don't we collaborate, do something, and create a story that we both have not done yet, and put our talents together. And that's really where this idea of Villainus came from. Just this, wanting to collaborate and do something fun and unique and different.
So Nathan has a question. He's asking, what aspect of cyberpunk or genre did you all end up focusing on? Is this like Ghost in the Shell or Desex? What is this like?
I'd say probably closer to Ghost in the Shell in terms of that type of look, that type of world, but we're doing a little bit less, androids and AI, and more like human beings that are augmented with, cybernetic parts, and, the class system that goes on with, people who can grow their own organs and replace, body parts that are missing to lengthen their lifespan, or, people who are more downtrodden can only afford spare parts to fix, certain things that they lose. So definitely kind of an interesting, kind of social commentary with that as well.
Now, are you all both fans of Ghost in the Shell, Desex, or Blade Runner?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Blade Runner,
I was going to say Fifth Element was a huge inspiration for me with this comic book.
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this already. Things that I already love. So, yeah. So he said Desex then with a bit of Clovis spray. That's our anime guy right there.
Yeah. That's why he's digging deep into the anime.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. All right. And so you're 37 hours away from your Kickstarter. We want to just tell everybody in our audience and everybody who's watching to please go and support this creative effort. This is amazing. I'm going to add this to add this back to the screen again so you all can see this. But I mean, look at this drawing. I see some reminiscence of right there with that blonde haircut. What's Wesley Snipes' character in
that's what I thought you were thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where we got the inspiration from.
Yes, definitely.
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man character.
Great
I forgot
movie,
what his
Demolition
name
Man.
was. I forgot what his name was in that character. But yes, this is so cool. I love this.
It's a head nod to one of the greatest action heroes ever, Wesley Snipes, who plays,
Absolutely.
in sci-fi, it's rare that you find black characters. So
Yeah.
we wanted, and we plan on doing a lot more head nods to like. So you might see some like familiar looking black characters.
That's okay. I love that because I think that everybody needs to be reintroduced to that. And if we hadn't talked about that, people will forget that he played that role.
Yeah,
in Demolition Man. Not only that, we could say Wesley Snipes being one of the greatest action heroes out there, he put Marvel back on the map. So, he's going to always forever be iconic for us. His character was Simon Phoenix in Demolition Man. Simon Phoenix.
Yeah, it's amazing, like the reaction that we get to that character. Everyone is like just like gets really excited. They're like, "Oh wow, that reminds me of Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man." It still evokes a lot of emotion. In fact, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I gotta watch that movie again after they see this This picture.
I gotta admit, I was thinking the same thing. I was just like, dude, I gotta go watch the movie again.
Yeah. I mean, you have to revisit that character. You love him so much. And I think that that's probably, if you all kind of emulated this character after him, that's probably going to be an attachment to a lot of people who support the Kickstarter and these graphics, this comic. So this is just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've got some really amazing artists. You know, we were fortunate to have found them. You know, big shout out to Edgy Zian. He's the first artist. He's the artist for the first chapter. He drew and colored the first chapter. And you know, we have Silo Ferris out of Chile. He's absolutely amazing too. He did chapters 2 and 3. He's done sci-fi comic books before, so you know, this was like, you know, just the icing on the cake. The fact that he's got that experience, because you know, artists lean one way or another, right? Some artists likes to draw dragons, but you can tell Silo, he really likes to draw tech stuff, right? So it's in his wheelhouse. And then, you know, it's followed up by the amazing colorist. Oh man, I'm starting to draw a blank his name. What our colorist
Loris Ravina.
Loris Ravina. He's just absolutely amazing, and you can tell like he was really having fun with the color palette, especially with the side.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that it really typifies that this world. It actually, you know, everything. When you think about cyber, you think about these color patterns, the purples, the pinks, the shades of blue, all of those things with, you know, it just is gorgeous. It really is. It's very sexy and it's very sleek.
And the contrast between that red there and then the shadow, the heavy shadow, and that green eye is just amazing.
Yeah, it is, man.
Just beautifully drawn. All right, you all. So you heard it. They've got 37 hours before their Kickstarter, you know, closes. So please go over and support this Kickstarter. I'm definitely going to go over there and try to get me some. I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'm going to get something because I would love to have this. Oh my gosh, I would love to have a poster of this. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so the last person that just commented was Gage. So Gage actually has a Kickstarter going on too. Gage, can you tell us a little bit about your Kickstarter? And we're going to pull you up as well.
So Godslayers is my first attempt into getting into the indie comic world. I play a lot of D&D. I've been a game master since I was like 14, and I wanted to tell a story. I read a lot of comics when I was younger, but I kind of drifted away from it, and I wrote Godslayers as an anime screenplay, and it's a magic fantasy with demons and monsters kind of world, and I didn't really take it anywhere as an anime, and I met a great artist, Mario A. Barraza, and he's done a lot of work for me. I was telling you guys I have a lot of role-playing commissions on my wall that I did for my role-playing groups of their groups in the game. And one day I was just like, would you be interested in doing a comic? And he gave me a page rate, and we started working on it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's the way you do it. You just dive right in, man.
Man, and I did, dude. I dove right in. So we started in September building the comic book, and we have one page to final edit, like to finish the final edit on. But I launched the Kickstarter in February. I had no idea really what I was getting into, but I've had a lot of helpful mentors, and they did stuff like come at me and be like, hey, you know, are you ready to promote it? And I was like, what? And so now I've gotten on the road to promoting it, and I've learned a ton in a really short amount of time, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a super positive experience so far. The indie comic world is so much fun, and everyone's so great.
Yeah. I find that there's really no competition here. Everybody's very supportive of one another when it comes to their work, and they actually support it. You, Gage, were even saying that you're a fan of TJ's work in the past, And so it's, it's just like a very big happy family. Everybody supports one another and everybody wants to see everybody, make it well. They don't want, I find that nobody wants to be, part of Marvel or part of DC. They just want to be have a great fan following within the independent world. And sometimes this is good because it's it's unfiltered. It's perfectly unique. It's what you are. It's not from a big house, and they're not overseeing everything that you put or content that you create. So it's a wonderful, wonderful world of creativity.
And like TJ was saying, I'm a huge anime fan too, and that's kind of where I draw a lot of my inspiration from that, and telling my own stories to my role playing groups, and it's been a lot of fun. When he mentioned Guyver, like I was a big fan of Guyver. I don't know a lot of people who've seen that one, so I was super excited when he said that.
I gotta say, yeah, I completely agree. I heard Guyver, and it's been ages since I even hear the name of.
And I don't know why, but he was talking about Berserk. Like every time I see that, I've watched that so many times, and I'm a fan. I'm always like Berserker,
Oh,
wow, really good. Speaking of that, speaking of the Guyver, I was looking for that the other day actually to watch the Guyver 1 and 2, and I can't find it anywhere to watch.
It's hard to find now.
Yeah, it's really hard to find.
It's a great movie, and the animes were a little less humorous, but they were just as fantastic.
Wow. I love how these characters are drawn.
Yeah, Mario's great. And then I have a couple of cover artists. That's Courtney Rose's cover, and above on the Jericho tier, I had Greg Bo Watson's cover, and Mario does this one's his own design. So the main cover I designed and he drew, and I came back with this one and was like, I want something that's 100% you, Mario. And this is the cover he did. I love it. It looks like an 80s action movie.
Yeah,
the lighting in it is great. Like from the red from Dust's spell and back to the purple part on the Godslayer's chest. It's really well done. I love it. Wow. And that's I think one of the most fun things for me is getting to see the art. Like I'm not an artist, I'm a writer. I guess writers are considered artists, but I didn't feel that way. But seeing an artist illustrate it and bring it to life, was amazing.
Wow, it's really pretty too. The coloring is actually really good, and I do like how it is drawn. So can you give us a little?
That's exactly what caught my attention when I first saw his. Because I ran into him online and saw his stuff with the Godslayer pop up on my feed, and I was like, "What's this?" And I'm telling you, these covers that I was looking at, I was like, "Whoa!" Just the colors; it's just beautiful. Well, just the fact that it's called Godslayers. And then I read a little bit about that he does D&D in there, and I was like, "Okay, I got to get this guy on the show."
So tell us a little bit about the characters in this.
Okay, so we've got Dust, and Dust is kind of secretive, but he's the band's leader, and he's a necromancer, a sanguine sorcerer. He casts a lot by cutting himself and using blood most of the time, but he has the power to raise the dead, and there is they call him a Yama King, but I guess he's a really powerful demon, and Dust wants him out of their world. Athenea is being overrun by this Yama King Mastema. And so he learns that by using the Godslayer sword, the original Godslayer killed 8 of the 9 gods that existed in their world. And so he's out to find the Godslayer sword and realizes that it can't be wielded by anyone but the Godslayer, and the Godslayer himself died.
Oh, wow.
And so he puts together a band to go and resurrect the Godslayer to wield the sword against the Yama King and try and save their world. And so Jericho was actually the one who slew the Godslayer originally, and it cost him his right arm. So if he has what looks like a mechanical arm, but it actually runs off of magic, like the magic power of his body. Mm-hmm. And he's not too hot on the idea. since he's the one who originally killed him. But he's got kind of a bitter old general's kind of view of their whole mission.
Hmm.
And then there's Bella, and Bella is just, she's a warrior and a sensitive, beautiful woman, and she's head over in love with Dust. Jericho's convinced the only reason she's there is not to save the world, but to stay close to Dust.
Well, I would stay close to Dust too. He kind of has like a K-pop vibe.
And then there's Akara, and Akara is a little ninja. She is Dust's oldest confidant and friend, and she's half Nezumi and half human. So a Nezumi is like a rat person. They anthropomorphic rat person.
Mm-hmm.
And her father was a rat person and her mother was a human, and so she's a half-breed.
So this is like also a means to introduce people to this kind of world that you've created. Like I see that you've put like a lot of Japanese lore into like a Nezumi and characters like that. This is just really wow.
I've kind of tried to blend stuff together. Like the Thousand Hells is a concept I've heard used in role-playing groups or in role-playing stuff and other stories, and I like that idea. And then I have the Nezumi and the Kitsune. So the Godslayer is a Kitsune who, through the possession of Mastema, at one time that demon was housed inside of his body, has become corrupted. And so he just looks like this huge, monstrous werewolf thing.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know what a Kitsune is like a wolf demon or a fox demon. And it can have a lot of limbs and stuff like that, which is part of Japanese cryptids, actually, that believe that exist.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about this, but apparently there was a rock that broke in Japan recently that released a Kitsune, and everybody's talking about it because it's been there. That the monks, the Shinto monks, actually closed it up, wrapped it with a sacred band, and when tourists came by there the other day, it was broken, and so the spirit has been released, and it's a Kitsune.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's causing panic in Japan right now.
So the first story is them going to the tomb and trying to wake up the Godslayer, and it's just them. There's a lot of running. There's a flashback because some of them realize they're not there for what they thought they were there for, and so Dust kind of has to explain himself.
And this is beautiful. I love this.
Wow.
I was in love with that sarcophagus when Mario finished it, of the Kitsune with the demon, and then the torturers and the flames behind it. When he finished that, I was head over for that.
Oh, it makes sense, dude, because this thing looks like straight out of some kind of like archaeological dig or something, man. Look at that thing.
But it's very 1980s and 80s, and that's what I love about it. Really good.
Mario's a fantastic artist. Like that guy and he's on the wavelength with me. It's really crazy because I wrote it up. I kind of storyboard it for him, and then I give him a description of what I'm looking for. And man, he never misses the mark. The lighting in that one on page 4 is just fantastic because the only light they have inside the tomb is Akara's flare, and I'm digging that.
The script in it also looks very much like the script that you would play in old school computer games playing D&D.
Definitely. It has that RPG feel to it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have told me it has that old RPG video game feel to it.
Yes, it sure does.
And that's my favorite panel right there. Dust casting that Inferno spell down the stairs at the monsters that are chasing him. If I stop my cam, boo-doo. My icon is that. I love it so much. Just that red lighting is just
really
great.
So now, how long do you have on your Kickstarter?
So mine ends April 2nd, and we're about halfway to funding.
Yeah.
Wow. And what is your goal? What is the ultimate goal for your funding for your project?
4,800.
4,800.
They're at 2,100 right now.
Yeah.
Dude, guys, you just push them over, like get them, get them funded, and then help them make a little bit more money so they can be comfortable.
And no, I
like
mean,
to say, you guys want to help Kickstarters, get them double funded, and that gives them a comfortable place to be. And most of this money doesn't go into pockets, people. I'm telling you, most of this money goes into making sure the books are created.
Yeah.
So I've already paid for all my artwork, like my artists, my cover artists. I made sure they were all paid up front. Everything's paid for when it comes to that. This is all for printing, fulfillment, and getting you guys episode 2. Like, I'm not looking to put any of this back in my pocket. It's all going in my artists' pockets. Like I said, I love supporting those guys, and I was paying for art even before I bought a comic book. So I'm looking to get more money to them and just tell another story. I love it so much.
Wow, it's really good. It's really pretty too. Coloring as well. I love the coloring too. It's just very bright and warm.
So that
at the
was
same time.
that was our Greg Bo Watson cover, and the Courtney Rose and the Greg Bo Watson cover were both colored by Gwenaëlle Dallegalt. I think I butcher her name, Gwen, but her coloring is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
I gotta admit,
It really is.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons book, so you don't expect the colors to look like this. You know what I'm saying? Usually, in one of these books, it's all like bleak and dark and gloomy. You don't have much color, and you really went with the color.
And I want to contrast that. Like, my first book has a lot of those dark themes, and because they're in the tomb, and then like we visit the Thousand Hells, and so those are really dark and stuff like that. And later on, I want to get into the really vibrant colors and do some more sceneries as I show you guys more of the world of Athenea. So,
all right, folks. So you have it. We have 2 Kickstarters right here. One for Villainus, and then we also have the Godslayers. Listen, if you have $50 to send their way, you could buy 25, put 25 down on one and 25 down on the other. And you have 19 days to go for Godslayers, but you have 37 hours, now probably 36 hours to go for Villainous. So if you want to support either one of them and you don't have enough money to support, let's say, Godslayers right now, support Villainous right now, and then go to Godslayers before the end of the month and support this. We love bringing people on here because this is the one thing that we want to do is showcase independent artists and creators. And we do this for you, for our audience members who don't get a chance to go to cons and meet these people. We give you the opportunity to meet them, to really get to know why they created something you don't normally get to ask when you go to a con. So, and you can see that this is hard work. They love to do what they do, but they don't just do it frivolously. They do it because they love it and they want an audience, and they want to do it specifically for an audience like you. So we really, really encourage you to go and support them right now.
And come on, with names like Villainous and Godslayer, dude, just on the names alone, you should be supporting these things.
Not only that, I mean, look at the art, you all. If you don't even read the book, look at the art. Yeah. The art is just absolutely gorgeous.
And I like the fact that both of these projects have this unique style of art. You guys went with the cyber. Well, it's not usually with the cyber, because usually cyber has this other type of style, and you guys went with a whole different direction with it, and it really pops. And the same thing with the Dungeons and Dragons. It usually is a whole other type of style. But you went with this more, especially because you're in a dungeon, and usually that whole thing is like, I think I see something.
Really, 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 just everything tonight that we've seen has just been absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna put up the Kickstarter again for Villainous. Let me just find it real quick.
You got it, or you want me to put it up?
No, actually, I'm gonna put the
All right.
comment up.
By the way, I love the way you guys, your guys' villain guy has not only like a hot rod looking car, and then in the next scene you've got like this uniquely designed hover bike. Yeah, that was like 2 really cool contrasts in the same world. Like, I liked that.
The scene alone with him in the car with the green eye, that is worth it buying. And that right there, that picture was just absolutely gorgeous.
The color contrasts in that.
Yes.
Exactly, man. Beautiful.
I just want to add that just these two projects alone show you that the creators of indie comics, are producing really top notch quality things. And
Definitely.
I think that comic collectors should set aside some budget money for indie comic book,
Oh, absolutely.
in addition to whatever they're spending at Marvel and DC, because I promise you that you'll find a lot of great comic book creators like what we're doing, top notch stuff, things that are just as good as Marvel and DC, if not better.
Especially when it comes to stories and stuff. I think I pay attention to a lot of indie stuff. And man, I've gotten into it so much because I think that a lot of these indie books are outpacing Marvel and DC when it comes to
Yes.
stories.
Yep.
There are some great storytellers out there, and
Yeah.
I've been nothing but impressed with everything I've picked up.
Yeah.
Yep. And if
Agreed.
you're a
And just as a side note, guys, like most comic book shops, when you walk in, don't even have indie sections.
Mhm.
I mean, as I've been traveling across the United States the last week or so, like I had a chance to stop at a comic shop in New Mexico and some out here in California, and they didn't even have an indie section. And to them, indie is like Image or Aftershock or
Yeah.
Scout Comics.
Mhm.
While those are good, there's such a huge plethora of independent creators out there that are really doing cool stuff. So these shows, these platforms are super important, but you guys as the listeners, the people who are watching this, it's really, it falls on you guys to again, ask for what you want. Like if you really want something new and unique, this is the way to get it, through these Kickstarter campaigns. So please pledge to the Godslayers campaign, pledge to the Villainus campaign, show us some love so we can get you something amazing and cool.
Absolutely. I think that right now in my whole category, the catalogs that I have, all of my artists are independent artists. I feel like it's the most creative, and some of the most, the content, the things that they think about is not, a traditional style. Traditional is fine, but traditional gets kind of old hat. You see the same old story. You don't see any change or difference like this. These are people who are hungry, and they're creating stuff that they've read, Marvel or DC and all of that stuff, but now they're doing their own thing, and I think that they're created by fans who create the content that you would like to see as another fan.
And
So
a
I
lot
think
of
that
the
that's what
difference,
makes so
sorry.
good. No, that's okay.
And a lot of the difference is that a lot of us creators who are doing this for indie, we're not doing this commercially. We're doing this out of love. We're doing this out of love for the storytelling and the art. And that's a big difference from a lot of these big comic books.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't convince other people too, is if you're a comic book collector, because I know within comic book readers, there are collectors, right? And they're always looking for that new book that may become hot in the future. The indie Kickstarter, especially Kickstarter, or just crowdsource projects are the best place to look for something that's going to blow up. Because I know personally, I've known a few artists who within the past couple of years, their books are already optioned for movies. So if you're looking for collector's items or a book that could become a collector's item in the future, just Kickstarter comic book projects are the absolute best way to go. Because
it's funny.
Usually in these, I'm sorry, just one more thing. So it usually indie comic book creators, we have small runs, right? So there's not going to be thousands and thousands of copies, right? You're talking about hundreds of copies.
Mm-hmm.
Exclusives.
So that makes it even more rare. So that's a really great reason also to collect, especially for the collectors out there. I know you guys are watching.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like I've seen these comics, from the indie market, be put in those comic coffins, and all of a sudden, that book is selling fantastically, and they're like, "Where did this book come from?" I'm like, "Support the indies, and you probably get yourself one of these."
Yeah, I mean, just kind of food for thought. Like anybody who's listening, and I think it was Todd McFarlane's, first Spawn run. I think his first Spawn run, I think he sold 4 million copies. That's 4 million books. Now, again, even if you have a Spawn #1, it's probably only worth 20 or 25, 30 bucks tops, like even if it's signed. So because there were so many created, like there's millions of people have these copies, and it was reprinted and X, Y, and Z. So if we're selling, you know, in the hundreds or maybe even in the thousands over, a 5 or 6 year period, the rarity of our books are just that much higher, and that means they will be worth something, you know, just from a rarity standpoint. So food for thought.
What I love about this is I think, you know, and I've said this often, let's take it from the perspective of Hollywood movies. You know, Hollywood has lost its imagination because they always recreate an old story that's already been a classic. Well, here in the independent artist industry, especially when it comes to comics, they are not reinventing the wheel. They're coming out with something new. Something much more imaginative, something you probably have never come across before. You know, think about it. These are people that have actually thought it out. You know, they've really thought about origin stories. They've really thought out about characters that you might not have seen before. You know, that one element that's been missing from like a DC or a Marvel comic. That is what they're creating here. And if that's what you're looking for, something new, something fresh, and something that's not going to get old, and something that is original, that's where you have to support these type of Kickstarters.
That's definitely, man. You know, you really do have to. And I hate the fact that people are always complaining Marvel, DC, Marvel, DC. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to step out of Marvel and DC in order to like find what you're looking for. You know, if you're gonna wait for them to do it, no. What you need to do is force them to do it. You know how you force them to do it? You support the indie market. And that means that they're forcing Marvel and DC to do what needs to be done in creativity, because now they have to keep up with the indie market, and that's how you like get the Marvel and DC doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like the indie culture, like there's nothing like it. Like it's such a great culture. I've had such a great time. If you get to be a part of that indie creation culture, it's just such fun people, such creative people, and so positive. Like it's just amazing. It really is.
I totally agree. All right, you all. So any last words? I'm going to have let's talk TJ and Newton. Let's you all give us a little bit of some last words for our audience members. A last pitch for this Kickstarter.
Yeah, you go ahead, TJ.
Oh man, the pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all, man.
Again, just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has helped us, raise over 15K in under 22 days. We've reached our goal, but we do want to give you guys even more. And that starts with just, helping us hit our first stretch goal of 17K. Again, Villainus is a sci-fi, cyberpunk, noir crime drama centered around the world's most notorious villain named Shatter. It's really, really cool. It's super exciting. It's a fun book. You actually get 3 comics in one offering. So you get an entire story arc. It's super dope. And, if you guys are fans of Deadpool and Fifth Element, you're going to love this comic series. So, log on, go to villainus.com, VILLANUS.com. It takes you right to the Kickstarter page. And we've got pledges as low as $5 for digital tiers. And we also have print tiers as well. So check it out, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Good pitch. You did
Very
well.
good.
Yeah, way good. Why are you going to make me follow that?
I mean, you put all the passion in it. That's sincere. You put all the passion in it. All right. So now it's you, Gage. Let's hear your last pitch of this.
I'm Nathan Johns, the creator of Godslayers, and Godslayers is a fantasy comic book with a heavy illustrated feel. You follow a band of heroes trying to save the world from a Yama King, the Yama King of Betrayal. And it's got everything you should love if you are a role player, I guess. But check it out on Kickstarter. It's Godslayers Episode 1.
All right.
Man, I can't follow that.
I'll add to that, man. You know, you love D&D, you love role
That'd be
playing,
great.
you like role playing video games, you like all that kind of stuff. You want to check out God Slayers. Just look at that name. Look how
He
it
says
sounds, man. God Slayers. How can you not support this, especially if you love all that stuff, dude? We're video game guys here, and I love my RPGs, and this thing feels like this. This feels like a nice D&D campaign. You know, you just get that feeling. You see the characters all joining together to go find this quest to do what needs to get done. Dude, it's sold. Come on. And, you know, and on top of that, Villainus. Come on, look at these names. Come on, people. What are you waiting for?
Man, I love that movie announcer voice every time he does that. Like when he ended the promo for today's show and was like, be there. And so when I posted the show up for people to watch, that's all it says above it is be there.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for coming on. We're definitely going to support. Once again, you all, we can't stress enough. Please go and support these Kickstarters, in particular Villainous, because it's 37 hours before it closes, or 36 hours. And then we know that Gage the Wolf's God Slayers is closing on April the 1st. So get in, you know, at the beginning, you know, these are some beautiful drawn, written stories.
Yeah.
I mean, take a look at it. I'm definitely going to get mine going there right after this is over. So I'm going to support.
Thank you again, guys. It's been a pleasure. Really appreciate the time.
TJ is always a pleasure, man, as you can see from ChemFest.
Thank everyone for their support, and thank you guys for having me on. And it was really nice to meet everyone.
Yeah,
Nice
thank you
to meet
guys. Love you guys.
Love you all too. Thank you so much. Enjoy that sun over there where y'all all are in the West Coast.
You can see the sun behind you, people. I'm like, hey,
Yes.
give me some sun.
You know, our weather is very intermittent right now, so you want to know when a snowstorm is going to show up. That's
I live in Nevada, so I've seen it snow in August up here. It's crazy. Like it'll be sunny and warm, and then all of a sudden the wind will hit and it'll get cold, and then it'll get overcast, and then there'll be snow for like 25 minutes, and then you've got the sun again. It's those Sierra Mountains, man, they just kill us for weather.
Well, see, we don't have a mountain here. At least we can explain yours away. We don't have a mountain here. Maybe a mountain of trash, but not a mountain. All right.
You gotta love New York.
Yeah, New York and New Jersey.
That's
so,
true.
yeah. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back next Monday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Central Time, and 5 o'clock Central Time. Oh, West Coast time. Pacific time. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. It's been a day. It's been such a day. I literally cannot talk today. I've had such a day.
Anyway, hour jumping. That's what it is.
Oh, listen, you have no idea. There's a lot going on. Anyway, so with that being said, we'll see you next week. Take care, you all. Be safe and
get bitten.
Get bitten.
Peace.